Ooh, Mavericks, Clippers. Good game. Luka Doncic tries to draw the foul, still makes the three.
Yeah, he did. Now, we're going to talk more about Luka later. People are going to criticize him because he made the right basketball plays. I taught him when he was a kid, always make the right play. Don't worry about what the haters say. This was also the right play right there, Canty.
All right, more from this one. Kawhi gets the block on one end. Watch him finish the fast break with the nice dunk on the other.
Well, he's the best two-way player in the game, and he shows it off right here in this one sequence, right? Getting the block on a guy that's taking a jump shot. They tell you never contest the jump shooter, but Kawhi does it anyway. Gets the block, gets rewarded with the dunk.
That was nice. Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, Daquan Plowden bodies over the defender for that.
Look, all right, look at that. And good job by the ref. That's a block. It's not a charge. Listen, who are they playing? The 17 in the green, was that Marshall? I don't know. Whoever the hell the Bowling Green was playing in face. That guy should be ashamed of himself. Eastern Michigan. It's where Deion.
Let me tell you what Duke shouldn't be ashamed of. Cassius Stanley getting up there for that dunk on the inbounds play. Oh. Hello.
Woohoo. Look at that. And once
you got to be a baller if your name is Cassius, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You have to be.
Of course. And, come on, defense. Look, just be a little aware. Guys coming in for the oop on the inbounds, be a little aware.
Yeah, when he's that high, you just get out of the way.
Aware, Nick? Patrick Mahomes. He's having a postseason for the history books. This following a career start for the history books as well. The folks over at Pro Football Focus agree they've given Mahomes their highest playoff grade since they began grading players back in 2006. Kenny, how hard is it for the Niners defense to get ready and prepare for a guy like Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense?
It's impossible, Jenna, because you have a quarterback.
Impossible?
It's nearly impossible. There are no good answers in terms of how you defend Pat Mahomes because he's got the arm talent, the ability to be able to throw the football from any arm angle, off platform, on platform, in the pocket, outside of the pocket, and every receiver is live when Pat Mahomes is scrambling with the football. Like his ability to be able to extend plays and then make sure that he keeps his eyes downfield just to see if one of his guys can uncover for a big play. Like, I mean, there really aren't any good answers. You saw what Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, tried to do with only rushing 3 and then dropping 8 in coverage and then having that guy that was a low hole defender be a late spy. But that didn't work out. No. You saw Pat Mahomes flush, get to the outside of the pocket, and when it wasn't there, he recognized that defenders were in man coverage, and he decided to take off and run the ball himself. And when they're sitting in zone, of course, his receivers are good enough to find those open holes, and he has the ability to be able to get them the football in a hurry. So for me, it has to start with being able to rush him and try to hit him as much as you can. But Pat Mahomes is going to make plays. He hasn't played a bad game in the 2 full seasons that we've seen him as a starting quarterback. His first year he was an MVP. This year he's got his team in the Super Bowl. So I don't think there are any great answers, but the one thing that I will say that's the ultimate equalizer is just getting hits on the quarterback. I think that's what San Francisco has to be thinking in this matchup in Super Bowl 54.
Kenny, you're 1,000% correct. It's the only hope as far as it's not their only hope to win, but as far as the defensive side of the ball, slowing down the Chiefs offense, it has to be not about guys with 20s on their jerseys, but guys with the big numbers on the jerseys, guys that played your position and the guys alongside you getting to them, because there is no good coverage. He's historically great against zone coverage and damn near as good against man-to-man coverage. Try to do what Tennessee did, which is double team 2 guys. They were doubling Hill and Kelsey throughout the game because you have seen if you don't double team Tyreek Hill, he will ruin you. He will end the game. So in the first game of the postseason against the Texans, they doubled Tyreek. They didn't double team Travis Kelsey. He had one of the greatest playoff games any tight end's ever had, and he did it in a quarter, in just the second quarter. So they double teamed both. So what was the chess move? It's not even that difficult of a chess move. Sammy Watkins will have a monster game, and Patrick Mahomes will lead the team in rushing again, because when you're going to double that many people, especially if you're in man, he's going to have those opportunities if he can get it outside of the pocket. Coach Mangini says all the time, keep him in the pocket. Yes, you want to do that, but he's the best quarterback in the league in the pocket as well. So the only answer is to repeatedly hit him and to try to compromise his physical ability somehow by doing it. One game, he started 35 games in his career. Once the Chiefs have been held under 23 points. That was the game against the Indianapolis Colts when he came into the game with an injured ankle, re-injured it early, and the team's offense stalled throughout, only getting 13 points. The other way you slow him down, and this is kind of an old football truism that sometimes sounds cliche, but with this Chiefs team, it is 1,000% the case. Your best defense is to not have your defense on the field. Patrick Mahomes has lost 8 games in his whole career, 8 total. The opposition had the ball in those games for 36, 30, 33, 35, 44, 38, 40, and then the outlier game, the most recent loss against Tennessee, where they only had the ball for 22 minutes. But 7 of the first 7 losses, the opposition averaged 35 minutes time possession, with the Chiefs having obviously 25 minutes time possession. That's the only way to slow them down. They don't lose games because they don't score enough. They've lost games because the defense doesn't do enough. But if Patrick Mahomes is on the field healthy, he is the most dangerous weapon in the entire NFL by an enormous margin, no matter what coverage you throw at him. So you just have to hope those big people can make it to where he doesn't have time to throw, put hits on him, make him feel them. That's their only hope.
When you say, can I just be naive for a second? When you say put big hits, compromise him physically, like really just physically go after him, try to knock him out.
Yeah,
Just take one of your big guys and say, go.
Yes.
Get that guy.
Jenna, every defensive line coach that I've played for since they've implemented the new rules in 2010 has always told us to think about cutting the quarterback in half when you get to him. Like the quarterback strike zone is from the shoulders down all the way to the kneecaps. And so that's the area where it's legal, where you can put hits on them, and that's what you got to focus on. But you want to try to hit the quarterback as many times as you can, as hard as you can, because you want to try to do everything you can as a defensive lineman to disrupt the timing of the passing game. And I think that's what it comes down to when you're trying to defend this Chiefs offense. Not only is it the guys in the secondary pressing the receivers and trying to disrupt their vertical entry, but it's also the guys up front being able to harass the quarterback, because you want to make the quarterback get rid of the ball a second before he wants to throw the football. That's when your team has a chance. But in looking at what the 49ers do defensively, this is a team that has the 4th lowest blitz rate. So they depend on their defensive line, the front 4, being able to get home and apply pressure, and they're a team that likes to sit in zone coverage. I think they're going to have to tweak that between zone and man going up against this Chiefs offense, just because the Pat Mahomes and the skill position players are so explosive.
And the Chiefs have lost in the last 2 years 1 game because the offense wasn't good enough. Like since Mahomes has been the starter, we can go down the list. They lost to New England 43-40 in their that was the first loss of Mahomes' career. The next loss, they lost 54-51 in the epic game to the Los Angeles Rams on national television. Then they lost 29-28 on a 2-point conversion to the Chargers in the final second, literally the final second of the game. Their only other loss that year was 38-31 in Seattle, and then in the postseason, 37-31 in New England. This year, it was the 19-13 game, followed up against the Colts by a 31-24 loss to the Texans, and that was when, remember, the league figured Mahomes out. Remember, it was, oh, you play man-to-man, you do this. No, he was hurt. He went into those games with a bad ankle. He couldn't set his feet to throw. He wasn't mobile at all. And their other loss this year, they scored 32 points, 35-32 to the Titans with all the hijinks in the final moments. The Niners can win the Super Bowl. 100% they can win the Super Bowl. If they do it by the way you guys beat the Patriots, or the Giants team before you beat the Patriots, holding them in the teens, it's unprecedented against this offense. Not league history, but a Patrick Mahomes offense. If he comes into the game healthy, you better score 30. No one's ever beaten him when he's come into a game healthy without scoring 30. So let's see if you can do it. That's the unsolvable or nearly unsolvable problem that he, with Andy Reid and these weapons, present to the opposition.
But I will say this, going up against that Chiefs defense, it's not impossible for them to score 30. Because they just scored 37 with only throwing the ball 8 times in the divisional round of the NFC playoffs.
Is there an over-under already set for this game?
Yeah, I think it's
54 and a half. 54 and a half.
Well, yeah, and if it goes over, it's a Chiefs win. If you're going to bet the Chiefs, bet it with the over.
Take a break. Coming up, a little baseball. Should Derek Jeter have been unanimous Hall of Fame selection? Our baseball guy weighs in. Next on First Things First. That's it.